and now a beneficent fact. Did you know that Isaac Newton, one of the most famous scientists in history, spent more time studying alchemy and number symbolism than modern science? This interest in alchemy started during his childhood when he was boarding in the attic of an apothecary's shop. However, much of his writings on alchemy may have been lost in a fire in his laboratory, leaving the true extent of his work in this area unknown. Newton even suffered a nervous breakdown during his period of alchemical work. Alchemy has been largely ridiculed and dismissed as pseudoscience, and its practitioners were often labeled as charlatans or fraudsters. However, recent scholarship has shown that alchemists made significant contributions to science and medicine, including the discovery of elements and the development of pharmaceutical drugs. Alchemy's focus on the transformation of matter and the study of the universe's hidden potential remains relevant today, and its earlier practitioners deserve a serious re-evaluation of their work. For more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube and TikTok channels. Hello everyone, I'm the Benefactor, and this is Beneficence TV, dedicated to providing you solid entertainment while keeping you informed. We are a progressive media outlet with the focus on providing thought-provoking content on forbidden knowledge regarding topics such as Marxism, plasmoids, zero-point energy, vortex-based math, and anti-gravitics. Our aim is to combat the spread of dangerous misinformation and to educate on these intriguing and unconventional areas of study while separating fact from fiction. Join us on our journey of discovery and challenge conventional thinking here on Beneficence TV.
This video was bang on brilliant stuff. I'll give it a shout out in my next video. I've forwarded it to Malcolm to check out too.
The viewers have spoken.
What an amazing documentary. Thanks for producing it.
Never seen this all tied together so well. Gonna share the heck out of it. Bravo, and thank you.
Divine Science is officially a hit.
Amazing stuff, very nicely presented. New sub who can't consume your content quick enough. Great video, dude. Keep at it. You are doing the good work.
You did a great job putting this all together. It's a great overview, goes into amazing depth at times, so it's interesting for the larger swath of people. Well played, sir.
Okay, so I didn't sleep last night because I watched this 3 times and binged the rest of the channel. You have fantastic instincts for piecing concepts together. Almost every section was something I was already familiar with in a different context, and this documentary was the thread connecting them all.
Join us on a journey into a place of hidden knowledge. A place where science is stranger than fiction.
All right, welcome everybody to a very special live stream. I've got a lot of cool stuff lined up for you today. We have some updates from the Cosmic Summit that will blow your mind. I know they were really exciting when I was watching them live, so I had to capture some of it and share it with you guys. We'll also be going over the Nunez method, the open circuit resonant method of maximizing your output for the Rodin coil. So, stick with us, and we'll get right into the Cosmic Summit highlights for you, and I hope you enjoy. So this will be about 20 minutes.
Well, so cymatics would be the closest thing in a physical medium that we could use in order to visualize the material shifting and creating more coherent geometries. Some people work with salt, some people work with Sedona red rock, you know, some people work with shungite powder. Each one of these types of powdered minerals will potentially have a different impact when different frequencies are applied to them.
The audio was kind of low on this part.
So this geometry is from the plasmonic unification model is now getting imprinted into the electromagnetic field, and the EMF mic is proving it. So can I see someone's cell phone again? Your cell phone. And then we'll just
Hey Jalapeno, how you
put the
doing?
phone into the field. Look at that. So this is your brain. This is your brain on EMF. Don't do EMF. Just kidding. You can do it. Just, you know, create some boundaries.
Yeah, nothing new under the sun. So, with permission of the owner, can we pass this around? Okay, yeah, so you're the one who came up with the idea. It's your responsibility if it goes missing.
It's such a special thing. And I have to thank the Matsumoto family for entrusting me with the project. Far in the universe, nuclear collapses very often take place by the gravitational force after stars consume their fuel. Since the electromagnetic force is about 40 orders stronger than the gravitational force, it should be easy to induce similar nuclear collapses by the electromagnetic force in laboratory. But we never knew until now how to do that. Recently, The author, Dr. Takaaki Matsumoto, discovered a nuclear collapse which was induced by the electromagnetic force in laboratory during studying the mechanisms of so-called cold fusion phenomena. Several kinds of nuclear reaction which were directly induced by the electromagnetic force, called electronuclear reactions, ENRs, were found so far to occur in a special state of hydrogen clusters called itonic clusters, or micro ball lightning. The nuclear collapse was one of the most remarkable reactions among ENRs, called the electronuclear collapse. Furthermore, very amazingly, completely broken materials by ENC were found to be regenerated to thin tubes and films of conventional elements such as carbon, oxygen, and iron. The latter process is called electronuclear regeneration.
So those are your crenellated spheres?
Okay, on the subject of the crenellated spheres. In several systems, if you have, at the bottom of a yin vortex, you are, in my view, at that point, you're twisting the ether in such a way that at that point, it starts to unravel matter. So in my presentation, I showed you this structure where I placed a Marsa gas, which has a special component in there, which is released when you burn the gas, and that produces this magnetohydrodynamic structure, and it has a vector down to a point where there's like, it's a torsion field, and it has a focus where in the structure of the physical vacuum at a quanta scale on a toroidal level above, there's the interaction between that vector and the toroidal vector of the structure of the physical vacuum above, okay? And at that point, it literally unwinds matter. That's the yin pulling force. It desires to take from the environment to create life, okay? So that is disrupting matter. Now, any matter in that position will have the hidden matter within the energy ripped from it. And this is what Nina Kaligina was doing when she was using Psi-Force, which we have the capability to use. She was able to move material around, but she was also able to stop the heart of a frog and restart the heart of a frog with her intention through her hands. And then when one of her colleagues said, well, you know, I'm not really believing this, you know, try and do it to me, she did it and sent him into cardiac arrest, and they had to do CPR. So that's extracting chi, and it's just sad because there's two horrendous weapons that are possible with this technology that almost certainly have been developed, and you don't know it's even possible, but in certain circles it's just accepted as part of things you can do, right? So it's able to extract that. And what happens when you extract that hidden energy within the matter? The electrons just fall off and the matter starts disassembling. And it disassembles in the most, in my view, most stable nucleon clusters. So it disassembles into protons, helium alpha particles, and carbon. So because you're changing the distortion of the physical vacuum, and all energy comes from difference in change in the distortion of the physical vacuum. It doesn't matter whether it's chemical energy or nuclear energy. Okay, so, but I can tell you our experiment called Ultra Experiment, it's highly well defined. A 3-year-old can learn to conduct it and do the experiment within 7 minutes. It works 100% of the time if you follow the instructions, and you get lighter and heavier elements, and I wasn't blown up. It's called the least action process, right? So the yang side, that's the brighter light in your Masonic temples, the sun force in all of the ancient religions, right? The swastika, right? That disassembles and unwinds the trapped light, okay? Then it can be unwound in such that the connection between the clusters in the particular nucleus fall apart based on their strength of binding. Okay. Then it goes through a wormhole, which is in page 91 in Matsumoto's book, which he worked out from 11 years of his research. Okay, goes through the wormhole, comes through to the yin. So the yang is disassembling matter. It goes through a wormhole. It's not interacting with any matter. This is literally able to go through all of the matter you can possibly imagine without interaction.
And the wormhole connects the center of the yin to the center of the yang?
Yes. You getting it? And on the other side, on the yin, it assembles matter. So there, in this particular experiment, which I think ran for 90 seconds or 300 seconds, one or the other, on that particular side, you don't want to run it long because it gets confused. This is confused, right? There's lots of experiment things that went on all over the place over and over and over again. So it ends up being homogeneous. It just looks like rock. Okay, so it comes around the other side, and on that side, inside the Vesica Pisces, inside the golden ratio line, there is exactly a two-arm spiral galaxy structure, which was replicated by other parties. And inside those places, but it's not that the magnetarm is up here and then the other side it's down there. It is the 69. It is the yin-yang, even at that level. It literally looks like a 6 and a 9. On that side, there was calcium
How you doing,
and no
Misunderstood?
boron. So if it's a contamination in the system and both vortexes are the same, you should see calcium and boron here and calcium and boron here, but you don't.
Green,
you see boron here with no calcium, which is aluminium minus oxygen, and over here you see aluminium plus oxygen, which is some isotopes of calcium in the absence of boron. And that is the yin side, the creative force in the universe. You literally cannot have a universe which does not have yin and yang. And because it's fractal, every yang has a yin and a yang, and every yin has a yang and a yin. Okay, there's female in all of us, and there's male in all of us. Get over it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So, the least action process defines that you are reorganizing the neutrons in a way that doesn't involve the Coulomb barrier.
Gold can be
It's irrelevant.
A waste product.
Forget
of
about
plasmoids. They
right?
kind of poop
Forget
out
about it.
different elements.
And it comes around the other side. And so you're taking apart matter. That has energy. It's captured and it's released in the reorganization of the matter on the other side. There might be a net-net.
Characteristics of ball lightning, you find them in crop circles, and you'll find them in comet sort of impacts where there's the same multi-axis shear, and they're producing these things, so they're concurrent, with everything else.
So can I finish the question? So I was wondering, is it potentially that one of the spheres that was welded could have contaminants of a magnetic material, and that's causing the isopotential lines to steal the plasma, increasing the heat on one side? Because you did say, like with magnets, it can...
No, what's happening is, remember, there's two things happening inside. So it's counter-rotational spin.
Yeah.
So you've got the vacuum pulling through your water in its gas phase, pulling through plasmoids, right? Mm-hmm. My theory on it, I think at the moment, it would be brave for anyone to state an absolute, right? Because even though I've been working on it, it's still everything I think is a theory, and it fits into my theory. But what I believe is that the plasmoids, when they come, when you have the exhaust gas interacting with the plasmoids coming through on the inside sphere, there's a point, and it's almost a sort of a linear point where the temperature changes. I believe that is because as it's coming out of the exhaust, it interacts and to build up the charge in the plasmoids that are actually coming through. And once they're built up to charge and big enough, they steal the heat.
Yes,
that's my
alchemy,
theory.
exactly.
Like they actually get to a point where they're absorbing the heat. And that's why it's on a line this way.
Plasmoids have the ability to transmutate elements
really interesting
into
thing we found
other elements,
that
break down molecules into their baser
forms. We had the
forms.
temperature probe. Even if you stick like a Jubilee clip or something, for a sampling point on the thunderstorm generator, and this is what it's been frustrating.
There's different
with
types of
welders and
plasmoids. They can form different kind of structures and different clusters that form different shapes.
You're building up
fractal shapes.
Like a violin, right? So the transitions have to be right, and there has to be a lot of attention to detail, so you don't have any points at which you are discharging, right? And the whole annealing process is to get rid of those anomalies. Because what I wanted to do was have everyone have the same thunderstorm generators. We intend to put 25 of them around the world.
Is separating the charges, yeah. There's charge separation going on within the thunderstorm generator.
6 or 7 homes for the new batch. And we've made homes for the previous batch around the world, so people do independent testing. But it's so important with the original test that everyone's testing on the same prototype. Because we've had sort of people go, oh, look, this thing doesn't work as it should, and say, well, what's it made out of? Is the first question. Oh, well, I can't weld stainless steel, so I did steel. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it's not stainless steel. So, it's not the catalyst it should be. Because it's got its own electromagnetic field, and it's not a normal field, right? And because it's so sensitive, but you also, when you put that on, you're changing the frequency. If you put a clip on it, or you put a bracket on it, right, to Earth, That's deadly. The one good thing about the generators, they're sitting on rubber, which insulates, because the plasmoids will go to Earth. They'll go to Mother Earth, right? They'll go to ground, right? So the insulation is a very important factor, not to short-circuit it. And the subtle thing, we went to a lab in North Carolina State University, and what they did was they added a pipe which changed the frequency, and then they put it in the fume cabinet, and the fume cabinet is grounded to Earth. Right, and they say, why does it work, Malcolm? I said, send me a picture, because I knew what had happened. You know, you don't buy a violin or, say, a slide trombone, and then change the side of the slide, the length of the slide, and expect it to operate in the same manner. You know, this is tuned to the exact frequency it needs to be. If you take the 10 most abundant elements on the Earth, oh, well, when we run from the water and we do our cavitation, we find the 10 same in abundancy, the same abundancy as you find in the Earth. As above, so below. It's absolutely extraordinary. And it's so simple. Yeah. So, but here we have the Hutchison effect, right, which is demonstrating that colour, right? Now, Solomon's molten sea was made of that colour, and it's also, if you like, the ready purple robes of the priests, who were insulated carts opening up the Solomon's molten sea, which I reverse engineered, and would you believe that there's 2,000 baths of water?
Yes, the stubby model is on
Solomon's
display
molten sea?
attached to a Chevy.
But this sample is a miracle. That it's here and now, and I can stand up here and hold orichalcum, which means three things. Atlanta exists. Otherwise, where did the orichalcum for Solomon's molten sea come from, right? And Solomon's molten sea is 2,000 baths. Why? Because go back to the truth. Reject the toxic stupidity of the metric system. Hold on to the cubit, the furlong, the inch. These are God's measurements. The plasmoid's job, which we call Shamir or EVOs, or you go back to the Sanskrit text in China that I got access to, I wanted to see the cover, because that document was discovered in 1885, right, and was sent to India, language professor. It was then translated by a Tibetan Shaolin priest, right? The hand forms that he taught me are force magnification, right? So, and left and right, male and female. So that what you're doing is by changing your hand form and by flattening your hand and pulling your palm back, and you can all do it. It's an interesting thing. If you hit something with your hand and you haven't got the hand form, you'll break your hand. But if you restructure your hand, if you hit a fist, right, that's 20 times more volume, or 20 to 30, depending on what your geometry is, but if you can focus all your force in one inch punch, then in that point, solar plexus, right, or what you're doing is a force multiplier, that's 20 or 30 times more powerful than a punch. Simple geometry, simple fact, yeah. So basically,
that's how Bruce Lee did it.
And also, part of those techniques was, I said, the frequency lifting rocks. But in a meditative state, my teacher would levitate himself. But the point is that with this, with the Solomon's molten sea, the units of measurement, which you have to be very mindful of, and the volume relates and the angles relate to its frequency. This is a time crystal. It's an imploding structure that we lost, and you can get it from first principle. But what's the truth? The truth is that Solomon's molten sea is 2,000 baths, 72 hin in each bath. It's 144,000. It's the enlightened ones. The enlightened ones realize that Solomon's
Send the
molten
link
seed
and
is
I'll see if
charging
I can host.
the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant is 2.5 cubits by 1.5 cubits by 1.5 cubits, which is 5.625 square cubits. Why did Nikola Tesla measure out the exact volume, but Nikola Tesla weighed out the copper first, right, and then made the wire from it. And he had the same copper block from the same, because not everything's the same, from the same pot of copper pouring out 2 exact cubes. You have to match it. It's the subtleties. So what I'm saying is there's a relationship between why was it so important that before they made the Tibetan bells, and my teacher, Tibetan teacher, made me go through that process meticulously, because then once I got the exact volume, right, using a square, then we melted it down and made a Tibetan bell. Ka-ching. Boom. Right? Time, volume, frequency. The thunderstorm generator is the most sophisticated machine ever seen on the earth. Going back to my time in China, when I found the document that Oppenheimer used to build the atomic bomb, that was found in a cave in China, when the earthquake happened, the wall collapsed, that document was then translated and taken to America. I stayed in exactly the spot where that priest, monk, did all his work and had the ashram originally, and that's where I got my downloads. Exactly the same time, space. That's why you have sacred points. But the main thing is, if you go back, the further you can go back in time, as Oppenheimer did. He wrote 2 books on Sanskrit. Tesla was taught by the guy that interpreted those scripts. So basically, the sequence of events was that for the Environmental Protection Agency, our business partners have the environmental people coming in doing samples. They then would have the results come in. They'd have to certify every month that they're meeting the EPA standards. So we had them come in and do the test work on our motors, which confirmed that my gas analyzer was meeting the same results as they were getting. And then we went through a process about 3 months where they came in and did the samples. They then spoke to the government and to the manufacturers of their machine, and therefore the configuration that you saw that was tested yesterday was a configuration that they approved of. Now, so it means that they were then coming on the 28th, so we redesigned to their specification those points. Yeah, well, it's a bit 2 weeks before I came to this conference, as they always do, they trashed my website.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and I apologise for that too, but that happens, that's been consistent.
Gotcha.
This time it was a bit more malicious because not only did they crash the website, it was a lot deeper technically.
Okay.
So they corrupted all the files, the videos don't play, so I had to go back, and I haven't had time because I've been trying to prepare for this conference, to go back and fix things. So
Well, that was all very fascinating. I don't know about you guys, but that Cosmic Summit was amazing. And I will be continuing to update you guys with the highlights, but those are just some of my favorites. All right, so as we've been doing in the past, you can follow along with this presentation with the link in the description. We will be going over the Nunez method, and I'll be showing you some of the archived stuff that I was able to retrieve that is kind of no longer available on the First Stop Energy's website. So let's see if I can get this real quick for you. I'm going to pull it up here. Yes, the website, Malcolm's website, we found out, I guess this is a common occurrence for him before he gives any kind of presentation. His website gets attacked, and it's unfortunate, but, I guess he's prepared for it, which is good. Okay, so this is our presentation for today. We'll be going over the Nunez method, and if we have time, I'll be trying to test out the monopole detection with the Nunez circuit hooked up. I believe that might be the problem in detecting the elusive monopole. Yeah, but they don't have to be, honestly. These rich industries, they have enough money and enough resources to adapt. But, that's up to them. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to start with bioelectric interactions. So in his research, Daniel Nunez noted that with even slightest bit of input power, you could, and I wouldn't recommend this, and I haven't done this yet because it sounds kind of dangerous, but maybe if I have enough or a low enough power input. But basically, he says with just the slightest bit of power input to the coil, you can touch one of the ends of the series, and just with your bioelectric interaction, you can feed and amplify, and the coil will amplify that energy and kind of use it, which is pretty cool. Here is a picture of him doing this. And here is the circuit right here. Let me see if I can uncrop this and blow it up a little bit. Oh, there we go. So this is the circuit that he's using for the bioelectric input. I actually haven't taken too good of a look at this. I just briefly went over it when I was putting this presentation together. And again, if you want access to this, it's all in the description. There's a link to the presentation here with all of the slides. This is interesting. In his research, Daniel noted some healing effects of the coil. I am rather skeptical to the coil's ability to heal, but I am open to the possibility. I will be trying to do some testing with plant acceleration, and if that proves positive, then I will move on to maybe trying to test it with an actual wound, like we see here. So, yeah, the description of this was basically they pulsed it. I believe it was with a low frequency for 2 weeks. I think it was for like a few minutes at a time. And I guess, yeah, they took pictures, or that must be Erica Nunez. I don't know what happened, but she must have hurt herself. And as you can see, they kind of pancaked her arm between the coils here. And again, I'm not suggesting anybody do this. We still haven't studied the effects of the coil, and we really don't know what it's capable of. So if you hook this up wrong, it might have a negative effect. Who knows? But if this is true, it is my theory that with the understanding that Malcolm's vortexes actually, when they're creating their torsion effect, their torsion field, the counterclockwise rotation accelerates time, and the clockwise rotation reverses it. So if that is true, then we might be able to apply that principle here, because it's basically mimicking a plasmoid, or it's a desktop black hole. And we can imagine maybe that this is doing that, if it is doing that, possibly reversing or accelerating time, thus decreasing in either state the time it takes to heal a wound, because it's restricted or centralized in that vortex area, the time dilation. Just something interesting to think about and consider when working with the Rodin coil. Enhanced plant growth. Now, you don't want to stick your finger in there for too long and pull it out, and it's just like an aged old, like, finger decrepit. So they did some experiments with enhanced plant growth, and this is actually what I really want to get into, because this has real practical applications in the industry of agriculture. And as Randall Carlson likes to emphasize, agriculture is the basis of all modern society, because if we don't have agriculture, nobody eats. And they put coils close to the plant set up here, and just right next to it, they said that the plants would grow. As you can see, they grow a lot better on the side of the field, the side that the field is actually interacting with the plants here. They're a lot taller, they look a little bit greener. And the leaves, as you'll see in a second, actually grow towards, see, they're kind of bending toward the field, like they like it. They love it. They want some more of it. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. And this is an experiment that I personally would like to replicate, because it's not going to be that hard to do. I just need to go through my notes and figure out which frequencies they were pulsing this with. If anybody has any ideas that I could be, which frequencies to test, just let me know. I know there's a whole host of Royal Rife frequencies, like a whole list of different things. All right, so this is, oh, hold on. Oh, did you send me a link? Let me see if you sent me a link. So Mike was generous enough to put together this circuit for phase 2 testing of the Rodin coil. I'm going to pull it up here because it's really neat, and I just want to show you guys what we're going to be doing for the next phase of testing. Did you want me to host one of those channels? I can host if you want. I just don't have a link to the platform. Downloads, and well, where is it? Oh, here we go. All right, so this is the circuit that Mike was nice enough to draw up for me for our next phase of testing. As you can see, we're going to be powering it with a battery this time, and I want to hook up some kind of outlet so I can just plug in a device if I need to, and just easily, check different devices against the system. This is going to take a little bit of research to slap together, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult. Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm always down for having people share their projects. That reminds me, if anybody, and I do, I want to invite you guys, Mike and everybody else from the Free Energy Fridays podcast, crypto and all, for your projects. I recommend that you use my custom forum, because it gives us a platform where we can actually share our updates for our projects, and we can comment on them and give each other ideas and suggestions and feedback, which I think is going to accelerate the research process and the development and testing phases of our projects. If anybody wants to, and I do recommend it, I think it'll help a lot. If anybody wants to use the Beneficence TV forum, and even if you just want to check out what I'm doing, you don't have to post anything. It's basically just like my own custom Facebook. It's beneficencetv.com, and then at the top there's a little menu for selecting different categories, and forum will be one of them. Oh, there it is. Okay, so while he sets that up, we're just going to finish this presentation up real quick about the Nunez method and some of Daniel Nunez's hidden treasures that I managed to dig up. This one is low energy inverters and ventilation, and this is another demonstration of just the practical applications of the Rodin coil. It also, I seen a video on there that I'd like to show you guys at some point, where he uses the coil to emit light somehow just from the coil alone, and I've never seen anything like that. And I've been researching this coil a long time, and that one was new to me. But it was a really cool video. So yeah, he's got two coils hooked up, powering this fan here, probably off of a tiny bit of power. See, I need something like that. Something like this would be perfect for phase 2 of testing, but I don't have access to that kind of material. I have to slap something more homemade than that. This is their PoE coil lineup. Different frames that they were selling. And there's also different winding, number of winds that you can do that produce, different effects depending on what you're using them for. And even the elimination of the interference pattern for that one coil is I guess, better for driving motors. So this is a picture, and this is interesting because, as you guys know, if you've been following my research, I haven't been able to get the Nunez open circuit method to actually produce over unity yet. It works, it powers a load, but it doesn't have an over unity effect. And I suspect that it's because the resonance range for the open circuit method, where you're utilizing both channels, is maybe slightly higher than what I'm capable of outputting from my tone generator at this time. But if you notice, and this is actually consistent with what I saw just earlier today, one of these like 10 old videos you see every once in a while where somebody has a working Rodin coil, same design, probably utilizing the same tutorials from First Stop Energies that I was utilizing, with the same slight decrease in current or amps on the output. But look at that increase in volts. It's incredible. So, but as you guys know, if you've been following me and my Rodin coil system, when I'm utilizing the closed circuit method, which is what most people use, and I resonate it that way, it's only getting a 1-to-2 ratio on the volts, but it's actually almost doubling the current. Now, there is a possibility that the current might be slightly inaccurately read from the multimeter, but utilizing the multimeter on both sides, it clearly shows an overunity, and it also does show almost double the amount of current coming out as well. So it's almost like a 1-to-2 ratio on both ends for me, and that's not something I've seen in anybody's numbers. It's a very unique phenomenon, and I'm just trying to figure out why my setup is producing overunity in such a different way than most people. Oh, he's got the stream up. Let's click it or get a ticket. Yeah, these coils just take Ohm's law and just throw it in the trash. Hey, how you doing, everybody? What's up, Wasabi? I'm okay. How are you? Yeah, no, I just taking a look at it. It looks like it's gonna be pretty easy. I'm gonna have to gather the parts, but so it might take me a couple weeks to get the parts, but it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be that difficult to put together. But if I do have issues, I'll definitely give you a call. Let's see. And you know, when I do get the open circuit method working, it's, you know, going to produce a lot more volts, and I do have an HV 2000 volt capacitor prepared for that, which is what they recommend for the high voltage output. Now this part's a little too blurry. I'm not going to read that. It's a high voltage 2000 volt capacitor. And it's a big sucker. Looks like a big yeah, so here I'll show you. Okay, so if you follow along, I don't know, can you guys see this? Yeah. So this is the Nunez method. I've shown you this in one of my videos. But this, here, let me oh, do I not have it in here? Let me put it in here real quick. Okay, so this one is the proper diagram for it. So this one's the hand-drawn. This one is the harder one to find, which was the proper diagram. I don't know how I was able to find this one. But this, yeah, I just dropped it in. I forgot to include it. But this is comparing the closed circuit method, which is the traditional stereo method that most people use and wire up, to the open circuit method, the Nunez method. Well, I call it the Nunez method because I think they should get credit for this. But yeah, see, it says, warning, may create ozone. You can see the home theater amplifier is included. So this is basically how I have everything hooked up, but only on the left. Also, I am noticing that my coil is resonating around 1 hertz. So see, notice the increase. They have theirs. So if mine is actually outside of like maybe 21 kilohertz, I'm only able to output on my tone generator 20 hertz. So that might be why I'm not able to find that higher harmonic resonance range, right? And that's what Phil Dubois actually wrote in his paper on the Rodin coil, that the coil has harmonics. So you find a range at a specific frequency, and then you find a harmonic of that frequency. So the one on the left is the one I'm already using that's working. The one on the right is the one that I haven't been able to get to work yet. Okay. Hey, Crypto. How you doing, man? You're welcome to join us. Why don't you come on in here? We're going over the Nunez method. Actually, as I'm looking at this, hello, can you hear me? Vibration spin magnet, where? Oh, yeah, with the hand. Yeah, exactly. There's vibration. So the diagram that's actually in the PoE tutorial video, which is what I based the design off of. I was using that video. Is a little bit different than this, and that's the one that I was using. It doesn't actually close the 2 coils. So this might be a third different type of circuit that I'm utilizing that they had in their tutorial video. Give me a second to look at this, because I'm not too yeah, let me just think about this for a minute. I might be hooking it up a third different way. Yeah, this is not the way that I have it hooked up either. Hold on. And then this is start and finish to the load. Nope, yeah. That's interesting. So there are a lot of gaps in knowledge regarding Daniel and Erica Nunez's research, since a lot of it's missing. So I kind of have to piece this together, but it looks like I have it hooked up a third way, where it's basically the 2 coil channels aren't hooked up at all. They're just using inductance. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you up. Mm-hmm. Mm. Like that 12-volt motor I have? Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see you. Yeah, it's got a curve. And that's the, is that the positive or the negative end? Yeah, but I know you're right. It is curved. Okay. Yes. Well, actually, technically, the AC signal is coming in from the source. Yeah, yeah. No, no, you're right. It's coming in through that wire, though. And then it's returning back to the other wire. And if that, yeah, that's where I have it tapped off, and I have it tapped off at the top. But only on the second coil. So I have, yeah, it's a very unconventional circuit. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, you might be right. I honestly, I've been trying to study this and decipher it for a long time. Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah. Unless they have it tapped off on both on one coil side, then that's how I have it. So one coil, like say the left side, that's both going towards the load, and the other coil is both going from and towards the source. Yeah. Yeah, the 192 LED. Yep. So that's actually the circuit that I'm using right now. So in and out, in and out. Yep. Oh. Mhm. Yes. Well, I think mhm. Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. Man, I wish I could talk to Daniel and figure out what's going on with my configuration, because it's mine is not exactly the same as either three of their circuits. I don't think none of them seeing. But yeah, I'm gonna in a minute. I'm gonna try to connect it a couple of different ways and see what happens. Oh, my bad. He was muted. I didn't even realize that. Thank you. No, no, you weren't muted for me, but you were muted for the audience. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right. That's so the bottom curve. The bottom curve is the negative electricity or the reverse flow. Oh, okay. Interesting. Right. Yeah. No, it's like the top of the hill and the bottom of the hill. Well, actually, I didn't. You taught me something again. I didn't actually know that, but that makes sense because if it, but if you think about magnets as inflow and outflow, it makes sense that the inflow would be a lot stronger than the outflow. Yeah, in a minute, I'm gonna get set up and see if I can see what happens with other these. So I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break and get set up for the connection. I'm gonna try some of those other configurations real quick and see what happens. I'm gonna mess with the Nunez circuit a little bit and see if I can maybe even detect a pole. I think that's how I detected the monopole last time. So let's take a quick, 5-minute break or so. We all are. We all are. Basically, what it means to me in this system, at least. Basically, what it means to me in this system, at least, is you only have one pole that's affecting the system, and the other pole is somewhere negligent, like compressed or something. I don't know, but it's basically only one useful pole, and that's what happens in this Rodin coil. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get set up for you guys.
With this design, there is a slight smell of burnt air, but almost no sense of carbon emissions when putting your nose directly up to the exhaust. The brilliance of Bendel's design is in its simplicity and ability to replicate natural phenomenon. Further proof that nature is the most efficient energy machine. This is a plasmoid thunderstorm generator gas engine retrofit and industrial engine retrofit. They are proof of concepts for clean and efficient energy. This retrofit will turn any carbon engine into clean and super efficient oxygen factories using only gas for the initial start of the engine. For more details on how the Bendel engine works or how plasmoids are the future of renewable clean energy, subscribe to my TikTok or YouTube channel. I constantly push the bar by introducing you to forbidden and obscure knowledge. Take the red pill and subscribe now. Throughout modern history, there have been visionaries who dared to dream beyond the boundaries of conventional science. Inventors who sought to unlock the mysteries of alternative propulsion, anti-gravitics, and the enigma of over-unity energy. Yet, their stories remain shrouded in shadow. Many of these pioneers, their voices silenced, their visions extinguished. Some vanished into obscurity, while others paid the ultimate price. Suppression, it seems, has been a constant companion to innovation. But recently, there's been a glimmer of hope. A new generation of self-taught, open-minded, and independent scientists has emerged. A collective effort to combat the forces that seek to keep humanity in the dark. People like Rodin, whose rediscovery of vortex-based mathematics is nothing short of mind-bending. They've pushed the boundaries of mathematical understanding, opening doors to a new realm of possibilities by describing numbers as physical stationary interstitiary vectors in space-time whose values don't change. Unlike traditional mathematics, where numbers change while functions remain constant, this paradigm shift recognizes that in reality, functions themselves can represent the changing variables, opening doors to a new understanding of mathematical relationships. And then there's Malcolm Bendall, a man with a vision that defies convention. He introduced the plasmoid unified model, a concept that calculates the resonant frequencies of everything from the elements to colors, shapes, and even polarized cardinal directions. But Bendall didn't stop at theory. He applied his unified field theory to a revolutionary concept, converting mass into clean energy. His ingenious design mimics nature's use of plasma, producing colossal amounts of pristine energy. Bendall's vision goes beyond energy. It's about reshaping our understanding of the world and harnessing the very forces of nature to propel us into a new era. As Tesla was once accredited as saying, "Throughout space there is energy. Is this energy static or kinetic? If static, our hopes are in vain. If kinetic, and this we know it is for certain, then it's a mere question of time when men will succeed in attaching their machinery to the very wheelwork of nature." In the shadows of suppressed technology, these visionaries are opening doors to a brighter, more sustainable future. The plasmoid engine, a symbol of hope, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. Join us as we delve deeper into the mysteries of plasmoids and the brave souls who dare to challenge the status quo. Here on Divine Science. Hello, everyone. I'm the benefactor, and this is Beneficence TV, dedicated to providing you solid entertainment while keeping you informed.
Oh, we got an echo. Oh, yep, just getting my headphones. Okay, as you see, we are getting 1.9 volts on the input and 3.4 volts on the output with our current setup. I'm going to try switching the circuits and seeing what happens. Yeah, no, I can hear you. I'm just trying to set up the Nunez method here. So that's interesting. My my multi-reader is reading some AC voltage. Is that normal? The stereo's off. But I mean, the stereo system's off right now. It's weird. Let's see. It's picking up 0.023 AC volts. I'm getting a little echo. Oh boy. It's okay. Alright, we're gonna power this up and see what happens. We're getting a loss, but it's running, so that must mean it's not within resonance. Yeah, I'm not getting any kind of over unity reading here. The output is slightly less. Mm-hmm. Oh, just the coil alone. Yeah, let's do that. For the multimeter, I think it's 250 volts. Oh, the bottom setting, let's see. Just says 10 amp 250 and then 750 volt max. Huh. Yeah, I think I can't output the high enough frequency because when you go too high outside the range, it just drops like to a really small number. Mm-hmm. But no, I wasn't getting the over unity reading. But my theory is if I step it up a little bit more than I'm able to currently with the tone generator, I might reach that second harmonic. You know, the range, which it resonates a little bit higher. Let's see. Yeah. We're using a square waveform right now. Yeah, it's 6.9 on the input, 6.86 on the output, volt-wise, at our resonance range that it's usually resonate at. Yeah, yeah, 1000 hertz. That's the usual resonance range, though. When I have it hooked up the other way, that produces the over unity. So. Oh, they do. Yeah, I'm trying to get the resonance range for this connection setup. For the way I had it set up, which was the inductive method, its resonance was around 1K, 1 kilohertz. But if you look at the diagrams, they even note like 18K. So I'm thinking maybe my coil, since it's a little bit bigger than their PoE vortex frame, it might be, or I'm sorry, it might be a little smaller than their vortex frame, then it might be a little bit higher. Wait, no, the bigger the object, the lower the frequency. So if it was smaller, it would be higher. But either way, it's probably right outside the 20K limit that I have for the tone generator, which is unfortunate. That's wild, right? And here we're getting virtually the same input-output at that resonance range. Hooked up backwards. But that's not producing the counterclockwise rotation of the energy. Yeah, they're all in the same bundle. Right. Let's take a look at this other diagram real quick. Yeah, so I couldn't get the open circuit to work with the over unity right now. So I'm trying the closed circuit because I actually have the circuit set up a third way that I haven't seen or heard anybody else talk about or do, which is actually interesting. I might have stumbled upon something, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of far away from it. Let's see, so the start channel B. They didn't. They didn't, so let's test it with the multimeter. Right. Oh, so the same location then as the other circuit. Okay, so end to A and start to B. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna, yeah. I'm trying a lot of different stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do the second channel too, see if that increases. And I think it does, and it will increase the magnetic field strength for the low end. You know, for the sphere, the magnetic synchronicity might make it spin a lot faster. So I'm not getting any kind of power draw. Right. You know, I'm not getting any kind of power draw at all from this this circuit right here. No, I just have the multimeter hooked up right now, but I'm trying the. Oh, I thought you said I could use the multimeter as a load. Maybe not then. Oh, so it's not actually drawing anything then. Yeah, it might actually have to have that draw. No, I'm saying the multimeter. Is the multimeter drawing in any energy from the coil? Reading it. So in that case, then no, then it, because this coil, I think it might actually be based on the draw. So but I'm saying I think the coil's ability to function is based on the load. Like if you listen to some other devices, like the phenomenon is just, I don't know, it triggers by actually having a draw instead of, so that might be why I'm not reading anything though. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do a magnetic monopole test. 333. The most bang for my buck? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not detecting any monopole. This is very disappointing, guys. I don't know how I did that. Well, I found it before. It's in the vortex. And when you put your digital detector in there, instead of flashing back and forth like a normal, electromagnet, it just flashes one, and it's always the south pole, which is exactly what Daniel Nunez noted in his research. There's always a south and a south, or a south and a void, which is very weird. Oh, you know what? I think I flipped it upside down. That's what I did. I must have. But I shouldn't have to flip it upside down if I just reverse the connections. Yeah, so, okay. Well, that's a starting point, guys. I think we got a good starting point on how to find this monopole again. And thank God I had my my camera on me when I was doing that, and I managed to, remember to grab a clip of it. This stuff, when you're working with it, it gets exciting and you forget. I got a digital one. Well, I also have the one that has the hinge, just a magnet on a hinge. No, I was only getting the south, and I couldn't find the north anywhere. That's weird, right? That's exactly what I think. That was my theory too. And And I think you're right. The field geometry compressing on top of one another. Exactly. Yeah, you probably need specialized equipment. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, I think. Hi, Charles. Right. So, let's see. We are going to try connecting it. Let me think here. Let's try the dual channel method for the magnetic synchronicity. Well, I was just trying to get any kind of over unity effect with that circuit method, but my theory is I don't have a high enough frequency for my tone generator. But I don't know, honestly. It's an anomaly and I can't figure it out. Let me write these down real quick. I've tried 432, but what are the other ones? Let's see. The Schumann is what, 7 point something? .75. Let's try it. Oh wait, I can't go that. I can't go below. I can't go below 20. The only reason I'm able to go below 20. Well, the only reason I'm able to do like 7 and 8 is because I go on YouTube and I find the videos. But I'm gonna need a waveform generator to. I've tried and I've gone through using the Nunez method before, you know, incrementally trying a lot of the different lower ranges, but I mean, I don't know. What happened? Mm-hmm. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So as predicted by the circuit diagram, there is no vibration with the neodymium sphere with the Nunez method. So let's try the traditional one that I was using. Yeah. Yeah, so there's no vibration, there's no magnetic field. It looks like that's noticeable at least. Yeah. It's unfortunate, I know. I can hear you. Oh, oh, there's the field. Yeah, no pole. So this is 2 channels hooked up now. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yes. you doing? Whoa, this thing is crazy. Wow. No, we won't be starting that for a while. Yeah. Just on a hope and a prayer. Is that what you meant? It does feel like the magnetic field is a lot stronger, and it is drawing a lot more voltage. Well, I have it cranked up, so maybe that's why. But yeah, no, it does feel like the magnetic field is stronger. But it doesn't seem like it's spinning. Like it was spinning at a very... Oh, it just shut off. Too much power. Yeah, it's like it was building. Ah, it was building. It was building. It was building. And then all of a sudden, it shut off. Because there was nowhere for the power to go. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, it does act like a battery, doesn't it? Right. Right. Yeah, their designs were pretty good. They had a lot of help, but I mean, their technology was pretty top notch. So I think the only limitations are the size of your gauge and the amount of energy that can flow, because I've seen this thing power a whole host of things and devices. I haven't seen it power anything big like a car, but I've seen it power. I'm sorry? Yeah, it's a 50, or no, it's a 50 volt stereo. What's the wattage? Or 50 watts, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get one of those outlets and just wire it up to the breadboard real quick so I can plug in some, like, you know, like... Right, that's a good test. That's like the fuse test. No, I like that. I like that a lot. That's brilliant. Right. Yeah, I'm sure it could. And now I get the over unity effect. This is weird. Maybe it has something to do with the geometry of this coil frame specifically, because remember, this isn't Daniel Nunez's coil frame. This is Dragon 7, somebody that Jordan Collin recommended. And Jordan is working on a more accurate frame that's supposedly going to be a more accurate reflection of the geometry. Mm-hmm. So you're saying if I'm getting 500 milliamps on the output, it's probably gonna shut down. $5 watts. I'm not sure. I think it's total 9 ohms. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Yes. So you might be correct on that. Yes. There we go. So each coil is pulling 2.5 watts. Okay. Oh, sorry. You know what I haven't considered? Because they don't specify. Oh, actually they do, I think, on one of their charts, left and right. But I haven't tried mixing the channels yet. Like one wire positive from channel A and the stereo output, and one negative from channel B. That would be interesting. I'll have to do that for another day. Neodymium sphere's getting hot, baby. Dang. No. Well, I mean, it might be because it's creating a lot of friction between it and the plastic. I have it in a plastic cup. It's spinning fast as. I'm not gonna say it because we're on YouTube. Wait, say that again? Yeah, it's limiting my system right now. I haven't even considered. I mean, technically you're supposed to use a glass cup, and eventually I will when I have, you know, proper gloves, because you wanna wear safety gloves that are cut proof, because that it could chip off the glass and stuff if you actually achieve the magnetic synchronicity. It spins like crazy, and it's hard to stop it, because, you know, as I said, it'll spin outside the vortex, which is really weird. But yeah, no, I haven't considered putting any kind of lubricant or gel in the cup, just because it spins so fast. Like I'm kind of afraid. You know, that's why I wear the helmet. When I first hooked this thing up, I thought it was gonna, you know, I thought there was a chance that, you know, if I hooked it up wrong, it could, you know, like shoot through the roof or something. Well, they do recommend 16, I believe it's 16 gauge wire for any kind of significant energy transmission. Oh yeah, I could power a decent load. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 26. Oh wait, hold on. Let me check the. I think it's 24. It's in the Rodin coil guide. Hold on. I have the coil bundle right here. It's 24. 24 gauge. I agree. I think you're right on that. Correct. So yeah, that's pretty limiting. Yeah, as I'm seeing it now, this is not wow. I mhm.
regarding the circuit, I think I stumbled onto something because the way I have it hooked up, nobody else that I've researched has it hooked up that way. I've never seen a video or heard about anybody hooking it up in this way. This is really frustrating me that I can't figure the circuit problem out, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. That's true. Mm. No, you're right. You're right. You know, and it's already working, so yeah, definitely. No, that's good practical advice. Thank you. Yeah, and that kind of gives us a little bit of a bias sometimes. Mm. I'm not sure the exact. It's something small like that. Let's take a look. I forget. So it says 120 volts, 2.5 amps, and then 60 hertz on the back. Oh, that's not what it's putting out. I don't know. I didn't see anything else written on the back. Yeah. Well, it's a surround sound system, so I can imagine at one point it was pretty top of the line. Yeah, it doesn't say. That's weird. It gives you the ohms or the impedance. It's 8 to 16 ohm impedance. believe so, yeah. No, it only says I guess apparently what it's taking in. Oh, okay. So we're measuring the DC voltage out on this channel A with nothing connected, or actually channel B, sorry. So we're gonna turn on channel B only. Crank it up. Yes, when I'm not putting a tone into it. So let's put a tone into it, because the voltage dramatically changes if I, depending on what frequency I'm at. Right now at DC we're getting 27. Yeah, so right now, right now, the DC is picking up 26 millivolts on the output. And this is like cranked. Let's crank it up as much as we can. I think 60s. Yes, it is. 25 milliamps on the output, cranked all the way up, with no tone going in. We can put a tone in, but I guarantee it's going to shut off. Overload. Right. Well, right now, max, it's like 0.5 volts DC. 0.6 volts DC. 0.6, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that is on AC. Oh, let me turn the AC off. DC is putting, it's showing 40. Hold on. It was jumping a little bit. 26. So 25 to 26 millivolts. DC. Yep, all the way up. And then we put on the tone generator at 1000 hertz, which is our resonance range. And it overloads the millivolt setting, so we change it. 0.7 DC volts. But, oh, I'm sorry. Let me change it to AC. 51 volts. 51 AC volts. Yes. Yes, and in resonance. So that's when the maximum ratio of output voltage is. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, apparently. So I should be able to power a lot more stuff. That's going in, I believe, to the system for the stereo from the wall. I think that's what you said. And you see what kind of loss that is for this system. 120 volts going into it, and it's only able to put out, what was that, 50? Well, I turned the gain up all the way I could. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, but still, like, you can see, like, the system is a traditional system. It's getting lost like it should be. But then again, I think it's supposed to be able to put out that output for every channel, right? Equally. So maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Yeah. 51. Okay. Yeah, no, it still had like maybe 3 more notches that could go up. Let's see. Turn that on again. Oh. Yeah. Max. So no, I'm not sure why. Yeah, we can't read the current, but the voltage only increased to 51 when it was within that resonance range of the coil. Remember the 1K that I used to get the over the unity effect? Yep, that's true, but I was still using the tone generator. I turned it on and off to see what the DC and then the AC was. No. No, the coil's not hooked up at all. Well, technically the coil's hooked up, but the channel that we were doing that, channel B, was only on, and that was hooked up to channel B, which is not on the coil. And I'm measuring the drop on the input or the output? Right, but it's And I would look for that droppage on the input multimeter, right? Yeah, so that would be the input multimeter. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So it'll be this one right here. Yeah, no, I'm running the test right now to see what kind of drop we get. All right, I gotta shut down the stream in a few minutes, but I got some results to share with you. If you want to hear the results with and without the coil. So I did it both with DC and the resonant frequency on AC at the highest gain that I could do. And with the DC power, with the coil, it was 12 millivolts. Without, it was 23 millivolts. DC, yes. And AC with the coil, it was reading 4.6 volts. Without, 4.8 volts. And that was within the resonant range. So that's, okay. Okay. Interesting. Well, all right, everybody. It's been fun, but I gotta dip and show you one last test with the neodymium sphere as we close it out. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Lulu. I will be back on maybe tomorrow.